Hey everybody, it's Liam Lander here with the Small Crossing Alliance, giving you my review of the June 6th episode of NXT, and tell you if it was worth it. So this episode started off with a promo segment between Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross. This is for their match at TakeOver Chicago for the NXT Women's Championship. And it was okay. I mean, overall I think the feud is kind of, not really there. I mean, they just kind of seem like they just kind of threw it together at the last minute, and I mean, why haven't they been building up? For a while, they had so much time to build up to, and now they're just kind of doing a few weeks ahead, and it is not really too much there to it, and I'm not that excited for it. And this promo didn't really help that much, because I mean, Shayna's just not that great on the mics right now, which is fine. NXT is still a developmental brand, so she's still developing those skills. But she's just not really to that point, and the crowd was really behind Nikki, and it's good to see her get the spotlight, especially since Santi's left. She's been, doing mostly nothing, but they just kind of really dropped the ball with this whole situation and the NXT Women's Championship right now. So, I would say not worth it, not really good. Which, sad, but, maybe the match is actually better. Who knows? It may surprise me. I hope it surprised me. I hope I'm completely wrong with it and it'll be a great match, but I guess we'll see. After that, we had TM61 taking on a team of jobbers in a squash match. They, of course, end up winning this, and it just, really wasn't anything there. It wasn't anything of interest. It's not even as interesting as a lot of their squash matches they had right when they were coming back from injury. Because now that they're heels, their moveset gets cut down so much that's just pretty boring, especially knowing what they can do. It's kind of disappointing to see that. So, not really. I just didn't really feel the match, and I'm just feel kind of bummed out with how they mishandled TM61 since really when they first got here, they didn't even really handle them that well. Then injuries, then this whole fiasco afterwards since they came back, they really dropped the ball with them, and that's kind of disappointing. But it, yeah, so it's not worth it, and hopefully they turn things around for TM61, who now call themselves the Mighty, which I think is a sillier name, but that's what they're going with now. So hopefully they turn things around with them. It does seem like they're trying to get them to feud with whoever wins at TakeOver Chicago. Whoever wins the NXT Championship at TakeOver Chicago. So, like I said, hopefully they turn things around with them, make them a lot more interesting, because right now there's just nothing there for it. So that segment wasn't worth it. And as of now, the Mighty is not worth it either. So after that, we get into a really good match. We had Danny Burch versus Roderick Strong in a match together. And this was really good. Like I've said before, all these guys in the Undisputed Era versus Dunn, Burch, and Orkin rivalry all work well together, and they just really mesh well, and this was staying with that. They worked really well, and nice back and forth, some really good, interesting maneuvers, some really great mat work too, because that's Danny Burch's specialty is, on the mat, grappling, chain grappling, stuff like that. So there's a lot of good stuff with that, a lot of good heel work, and then you had the fact that the rest of Undisputed Era came down and interrupted the match, allowing Roderick Strong to win. Then you had all-out brawl afterwards. So I'm really hyped up for their match at TakeOver Chicago, their tag match. And this was a good match. Good for getting you hyped up, getting you ready for that pay-per-view match. So I think it was worth it. I would definitely check it out if I was you. Then after this, we had a women's match between Kairi Sane and Lacey Evans. This is their rubber match for their feud that's been going on since Takeover New Orleans. And with it, I would say that Lacey Evans has really improved over this whole run. She's added new move sets. She has new moves to her moveset. One of the bigger ones is a moonsault. She's added that since that first match at Takeover, the week after Takeover New Orleans. So she's definitely been improving. She's been improving with her heel work as well. So that came off really well during this match. And I thought it was, a really good one. Kairi Sane ended up winning, which is, the right choice for right now. And I think it really helps her too, because she's just kind of been just going around aimlessly for the past few months, ever since the Mae Young Classic ended, not really doing much with it. It seems kind of crazy that, she hasn't really been doing anything, but the person who she beat at Mae Young Classic, Shayna, is already the NXT Women's Championship, so it seems weird for that regard, but it was a good win to get her back on track. And like I said, Lacey Evans is improving a lot through this feud, so it was really good for her, and I think it comes out with both women looking much better than they were before, which I think is great and what you should want for any feud. So I was really happy with it, thought it was a good match, and definitely think it's worth it. After this, we get our final segment of the night, which is a promo segment where Ciampa comes out, tries to cut a promo, but has to, yell through the crowd because they're, of course, booing him constantly. But he does start getting some promos through, but gets interrupted by Johnny Gargano, and they just brawl out. They're just brawling each other, and it goes kind of back and forth between which person's on top, but it ends with Gargano slamming Ciampa's head into the LED screen to pay him back for when Ciampa did the same thing to him, and then putting him in the Gargano escape, which is his finisher maneuver, the submission finisher maneuver of Johnny Gargano. And that's how we end the show, basically him holding him, Ciampa bleeding from his forehead, and just the refs trying to break him up. So I think this was a great way to end the night, because it definitely does what it's supposed to, get you real hyped up for the TakeOver Chicago matchup. I'm fairly certain that you're probably not going to see him at any other NXT tapings, at least, until TakeOver Chicago. This is probably the last time you're going to see him, then see him at the pay-per-view. And I think it was a great way to end, a great way to set up for that pay-per-view match and get people hyped up for it. I know I'm hyped up, and everyone in the crowd was definitely hyped up for it. So it should be really exciting. And that segment was definitely worth it. So overall, I think the first two segments were not worth it, but the last three were. So I guess just skip the first few parts, then just go from the Burch Strong match and just watch the rest of the next episode of NXT, and you should be quite pleased with it. And anyways, if you like this video, you can leave a like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. We do reviews for Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, and NXT. We also have live reactions to most pay-per-views. We're not going to be doing Money in the Bank because of scheduling conflicts. We may be able to do something, but we're probably not. That's right now, don't expect it. We should be doing a live TakeOver Chicago, though, so live reactions for that. So hit the bell to get notified for when we go live. And then after this, of course, Money in the Bank is on Father's Day, so that's kind of why they have the scheduling conflicts. After that, we should get back into doing every pay-per-view live. And anyways, you also should hit the bell so you get notified for our podcast. We do a podcast every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, is the start. So we do mostly WWE news, but some news from outside of the WWE. So check that out. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Liam_SWA. And only other thing I want to mention, we should also be doing a video talking about Dominion, the at New Japan show. So check that out. It should be Issa and myself. So until next time, see ya.